and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
I believe every child can succeed. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Research shows that children do a better job in school when parents are supportive. In Nebraska, parents have a long tradition of being involved in our public schools. That's one reason our students consistently score in the top 10 on national tests. Working together, we can help every child succeed.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Ooh, what a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up, the new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh yeah, this is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
This is how we do every day. We be grinding, and if you want to come and text us,
if you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music.
This is Mommy's jam.
Then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Welcome in to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Get Your Happy On Hour. I'm your host, Ricky C. Simmons on 93.7 The Ticket. Got to give a big shout out to Matt Warner and his team out there in Waverly, the Empire Fencing and Netting Company. Man, those guys are doing big things, and very happy to have y'all as a sponsor. You know, I had an interesting week, and I want to share this with you right quick before we get the show started. You know, I celebrated a birthday. Tomorrow will be a week ago, and I had a great week. Everything was really well, you know, and I'm feeling really blessed to see another birthday, and I'm also feeling blessed that I'm still here. You know, I don't take anything for granted, and life is one of the most precious gifts I think anyone can have. And sometimes I think people assume and take stuff for granted, and that's just not who I am. So, you know, helping others and making people feel good about themselves is very important to me. I try to use a sense of humor with it, because sometimes it's, you know, it can be taken the wrong way, but I don't really have an issue with me, but I don't like seeing people unhappy. And if I can do something to help people, if it's within my power, chances are I'm going to do it. Which brings me to my guest tonight. You know, we're gonna get into a lot of stuff, but I just want y'all to know this is a really good friend of mine, and this guy here is a special guy, and he has a special story. I want to say welcome to the show, Scott.
Thank you, Ricky. Thank you.
How you doing, young man?
I'm good. I've been all day at a bike race playing music, and I have to admit I'm a little tired, but I've been on my feet all day and trying to help my cycling community by playing music for the guys as they're racing around the track.
Well, see, Scott, that's a big part of this show I want to talk about, but I want to back up because I know a lot more than the listeners know. So I want the listeners to know what I know. So let's start off with, where did you grow up, Scott?
I grew up mostly in Omaha. I lived a lot of different places, you know, mostly Omaha. I grew up a Nebraska fan since I was 6, 7 years old. And
Okay.
having Jeff Kinney on last week was interesting because when I became a fan when he played that game in Century. I was 6 or 7. I was 6 years old when that game went on.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Jeff Kinney is my big brother, man, and he's a well-known player. So I'm glad that you had a chance to check that out. But Scott, you grew up in Omaha. What high school did you go to?
I went to Burke my sophomore year, and then we moved out to Aurora, Colorado, midway through my sophomore year of high school.
Okay. Okay.
I grew up mostly in the Maple Village area, which is like 90th and Maple, between 108th and Maple.
Okay. Okay.
Some people may know I'm related to the family that owned Mr. C's restaurant, which was in North Omaha, like 30th and 4th.
Oh,
And
okay.
it was open for over 50 years. It was kind of an institution in Omaha.
It's called Mr. C's?
Yep. And
Okay.
my cousin David Caniglia still sells the salad dressing and the tomato sauce. You can get it at the local grocery stores there in Omaha.
Oh man, that's what's up. Well,
Yeah.
Scott, tell us about after you. So I'm assuming you graduated high school in Colorado. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
In a little town called Glenwood Springs up near Aspen.
Okay. Okay. And now after high school, what was next for Scott?
I became a big nightclub DJ.
Ah,
I DJ'd.
I was wondering before I even got to that question. I was wondering how did he even get into that?
I just a friend of mine owned back in Colorado. They had these bars, or 3-2 bars, and the DJ didn't show up one day for a teenage birthday party, and I took over, and I got it in my blood, and just couldn't let it go for a long time.
So you became a DJ. Now, Scott,
Yeah.
I know you, but
Yep.
but if someone would have just told me without me knowing you that you was once a DJ, I'd have been like, I'm not sure about that. But
Let me tell you,
apparently you had some skills because you did that for quite a while.
Yeah, I did it for about 12 to 13 years before I kind
Wow.
of faded out of that.
I got you. Okay, so after the DJ, then what was next for Scott?
I became a financial advisor.
Now, did you do that where'd you start that at?
There's a little company in Omaha called Mutual of Omaha. Maybe you're familiar with that.
I've heard of that place.
Yeah, I started with them. Kind of cut my teeth with Mutual of Omaha, and then I came to work for Northwestern Mutual, and that's who I work for today.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, Scott, let me ask you this. You moved to the state I'm very familiar with. Is that correct?
Yeah. I've been to your hometown a couple times. Wants to see you give a show.
Oh, you went. That's right. You showed up for the documentary showing in the big city of Greenville, Texas.
At that little theater. That little theater is cool.
Oh yeah, man. A great friend of mine, Barbara Haran, owns that theater, and she came back to Greenville and bought that theater, and she invested quite heavily into restoring it. And
she did a fabulous job.
Oh yeah, I mean it's probably one of the most well-kept secrets in downtown Greenville.
Mm-hmm.
So Barbara's done a wonderful job with that. And I got to thank you too, man, for coming to the documentary screening. That meant a lot to me because, I mean, you're in the Dallas area, right?
Right.
So for you to take time out of your day to come down and support the screening, I just want to say publicly, thank you.
Well, you're welcome, and friendships need to be nurtured, and supporting you, coming out to see you, in action, and support your documentary, and making sure that you're sharing your story.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. I just want you to know, like I tell people all the time, and they probably get tired of hearing me say it, but I will continue to say it. I don't take anything for granted, and I just appreciate when people take time out of their busy day to support something that I'm a part of, and it just means a lot to me. Scott, I was also wanting to know about this. I wanted you to share with us about what made you get into bike racing or cycling. How did that come about?
Well, I was on a group ride, and let's just say some guy said some not nice things about me. I
Oh.
said, and he kind of pushed a button on me, and I'm like, okay.
In other words, he wasn't very nice at all.
No, he totally challenged me to fight him on a bicycle, and I'm like, come on, man, it's a bicycle. And then this friend of his jumped in, and I'm like, okay, all right, challenge accepted. And that's kind of how I started.
Once that happened, it was on and popping.
it was fun. I mean, it's an intense sport. It's a very intense sport.
When was this challenge? When did this challenge happen?
Oh, so this is probably about 12 years ago.
Wow.
12.
Okay.
So it was. I mean, I was well into my 40s when I started racing bikes.
Wow. Okay. And Scott, that's a very competitive sport.
Yeah.
And you got to be in shape too, because you can't. Because I've never tried it, and I'll be honest with you, but I've watched it, and man, those races they look like they're very challenging.
Well, I wrestled in high school, and it's very similar from an endurance and aerobic perspective. When you're on the mat, it's like go,
yeah,
go. And bike racing, the type of bike racing I do, they're called criteriums. It's very similar from an aerobic perspective. It's like go, and it's intense.
Yeah, well, now how long are these races that you be? Yeah, I mean, what's the distance?
Well, they're timed events. I mean, they have like the races I did today were road races, and they're typically those are mileage based. But the criteriums that I've done are, you're usually 30, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on what level you're at.
Right. Wow. So that's just go for like a straight hour sometimes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, count me out, Scott. But I wish you well, but count me out.
Well, let me tell you, the worst part is when you crash, because you typically lose a lot of skin. Sometimes you damage your bike. Yeah, it's sometimes you break collarbones. Thankfully, I've never had that happen to me.
Yeah, well, you've been very blessed then, because that's a very challenging sport. I was also I was just sitting there thinking about some of the jobs. So you went into financial advisor. Did you do any other jobs besides that, or you just jumped right into that and stayed with it?
No, I've done besides the DJing, I worked. There's a big bike store here in town called Bike Mart, and when I was still DJing, I was doing that. Because quite honestly, back then you had to have a side hustle because you couldn't make enough money being just a DJ.
Right, I got you.
So I have a relationship with this bike store here called Bike Mart, and it's a very big store, and I've worked there occasionally, but I've pretty much been doing what I've been doing since 94, 95.
Wow. And, just it's kind of amazing how small this world really is, because some of the friends that you have in the Dallas area are people that I know.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
They're all related to Nebraska, so.
Well, I hope those guys are listening. If not, I need you to do me a favor.
Yeah.
Remind them that you might be getting a call from Ricky C. Simmons about being a guest on my show.
Yeah, well, EW need to check. You need to push him a little bit. Get him.
Yeah, well, and for those of you who don't know who that is, I'm gonna put it out there so that way he knows. Eric Warfield, we need you on the show. So just know that you have definitely been informed.
Well, Corral Buckhalter's down here too.
Yeah, Corral, you can get on the show as well, young man.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you. Like I say, man, I like people to be on the show that, there's like yourself. I mean, people that do positive things and that people are trying to be just positive people, period. Because I feel like society has already given the negativity too much attention.
Yep.
So I just want to, again, just let those guys know, in case they're not listening, if you happen to cross paths, just say, hey, man, I was on Ricky's show, and he's already planting seeds that he wants you guys to.
Well, I told Eric I was going on the show. And
did you?
Yeah, so whether he's listening or not, or watching, that's
all right. I got his phone number just like you do, see, so I can definitely reach him.
Eric was probably on the golf course today, if I'm knowing what Eric's doing.
You know what? The weather's that nice down there that y'all can get on the golf course. I'm a little jealous.
Well, it was nice here, but it rained a little bit. But it was in the 60s yesterday and today. Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, that's golfing weather.
Yeah,
that's golf. So Scott, tell me some other things that I don't know about Scott, man. What are some of your interests?
Well, I'm a big music fan. I love all kinds of music. My girlfriend Lisa and I have been to a lot of concerts over the last couple of years. We've been dating a little over 2 years, and we've seen several concerts around the country. Recently, we went out to see a festival of music acts from the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah. Devo was there. You remember them? All these cool. It's right there on Huntington Beach, north in Orange County, California, and we like to go do that. Like to obviously ride my bike. Like to have friends that do different things. I'm a big concert goer, big music lover. That's one of my biggest passions. Cycling, obviously, and there's a little team that plays there in Lincoln that I'm a big fan of too.
Oh, you wouldn't be talking about, I think it starts with an H.
Yeah, it's called the Huskers. Yep.
Huskers. That's what I mean. I wasn't sure, but I was taking a guess.
Yeah, and I wear my heart on my sleeve whenever they lose. And I get uptight. And when I was younger, I used to throw things at the TV, but not so much anymore. I've learned to control my emotions a little bit.
Well, hopefully we getting that worked out so that you won't have to be throwing stuff and getting all worked up. Hopefully we start getting some wins this coming season. That's the plan.
Well, all indicators from last season look like they're trending up.
Yeah, and I feel good about it as well. Like I said, I'm a huge Husker fan as well. I just want them to be successful because of the hindsight factor more than anything. Because a lot of those guys, especially when you're actually in it, you don't realize it until after you're not in it.
Right.
How people kind of judge you by your performance. Hey, Scott, we're going to take a quick break. Yeah. We're going to come right back with you, man, because you got some other stuff I want to talk to you about. Don't you guys go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All right.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh, yeah. This is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks, exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Hey, we back. I'll be real honest with you. I'm pretty shocked. Got some people tuning in and they making it known. So I'm going to have to get a little help from Ben over there on working the board. Ben, we got any comments?
Oh, yeah. On the stream, we got Brett, Rodney, Theola, and Carla all saying they're watching.
What? Hey, man. Much love to all y'all. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me, especially my little brother down in Tulsa. My big brother up in Minneapolis, man, I appreciate the love and support. And Theola said something about Mr. C's, didn't she?
Yeah, he said Mr. C is the best.
Mr. C's is the best. So, Scott, if you're listening, you got to know that somebody from North Omaha recognizes Mr. C's. That's that's special. But
it
Scott,
was an institution. Yeah.
And this year is going to be something that, I want you to share only what you choose to share. But you recently done something that really, really caught my attention. That it took, in my opinion, it took a lot of courage, and you have to be a good person to even consider it. You feel comfortable sharing what you've done here?
Oh,
recently?
sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, give us the backstory and everything.
Okay. Well, so I have a friend who's a former client of mine that it's probably over 20 years that I've known him, and we have mutual friends. And he had referred me to some of his friends. They became friends, and one of them actually is just a coincidence that we're mutual friends of the same friend who's a big Nebraska fan as well. He told me that my friend Kevin, I'm not going to give his last name because that's not fair to him, but
Right.
that my friend Kevin was in some serious health problems with his kidney. And he'd been on dialysis for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And one of our other friends, Jason, had said, "Hey, I'm going to go get tested at the Mayo Clinic to see if I can be a donor for Kevin." And I said, "Okay." I said, I thought to myself, why don't I just do that too? And I've learned a lot about that whole process. They have this paired donation where had it not been a match for him, I could have given my kidney, and that would have moved him up towards the front of the line to get a kidney transplant. So obviously, my friend Jason, he didn't fare so well through the process of being evaluated. And so in August of last year, I went out to Phoenix and got tested. They did like 48 different tests just to see if I was a match or eligible for donation. And I tell you, if you ever get sick, that's the place to go. Some of the best doctors in the world, and there's a side story to that I'll tell more about once I tell a little bit more about what happened.
Okay.
So I go out to Phoenix. I do all these tests. I come back to Dallas. I'm thinking in the back of my head, when I'm going to find the results, when I'm going to find out if I'm eligible to donate, et cetera, et cetera. And then some co-employees, co-workers with my company were sponsoring a movie that talked about, it was a documentary on kidney donation, basically strangers giving strangers their kidneys. And so we went down there and we talked to some of the people that had donated their kidneys through the years. And there's one guy that lives in Malibu that had done it back in 2002. I'm like, wow, that was a long time ago. They said, you'll be fine, et cetera, et cetera. But earlier in that day, before we went to this documentary, the Mayo Clinic happened to call on that day. And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking, am I going to be eligible? So forth and so on. And I got to tell you, if I wasn't a direct match, I possibly could have backed out of it. And again, you can back out at any time, up to when they roll you into the surgery room. You can say, yeah, I don't want to do this.
Right.
So I get the call from Mayo Clinic in the afternoons on a Friday. The nurse who does all the logistics calls me up and says, "Hey, Scott, I want to let you know that you're eligible to donate."
Oh, wow. Okay.
And not only that, you're a direct match for your friend Kevin.
Wow.
And I said to myself, wow. And because I had kiddingly off the cuff shared with Kevin, we text back and forth. I said, wouldn't it be amazing if I was actually a direct match for you? This was after I had gone to Phoenix, somewhere in between the time that I was told that I was a direct match for him. I shot him a text, "Hey, wouldn't it be wild if I ended up being a direct match for you?" And sure enough, I was a direct match for him.
Wow. So you went through with the process. Is that what I'm understanding?
I did. The week after Thanksgiving. So the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, they wheeled me into the operating room at the Mayo Clinic in Phoenix. And 2 hours later, he had a new kidney in him, my kidney. And by the way, I named it Cornhusker. Because he's a Longhorn. I said, from now on, if they're not playing Nebraska, if they're not playing Texas, you got to root for the Cornhuskers.
So in other words, you gave a Texas Longhorn fan a kidney.
Yeah, let's hope we didn't give them too much life. You know, we don't want the Longhorns getting too much life. But yeah, so it's kind of a running joke now, I guess. So just to tell you a little bit about Kevin and kind of what the journey, some of these people that are on dialysis. I learned that it's through the documentary that I went to go see filmed that there's a lot of people of color that suffer with diabetes, and diabetes obviously wreaks havoc on your kidneys, and a lot of those folks have to have dialysis, and a lot of folks of color, and I'm just calling it what it is,
Right.
because the stats are out there, and a lot of those people of color are kind of leery and kind of, I don't know if I want to give up a kidney or if I want to receive a kidney.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I can tell you that my friend Kevin was on dialysis for about 3 years. And if you don't know anything about that, you can't urinate when you're on dialysis. And he had a port in his chest up here.
Yeah.
And literally, after I came out of the surgery, I only felt like little pain in my kind of my lat muscle on the left side, because that's what the kidney they took out, for like a day or two. It didn't hurt at all. I mean, I felt that it was gone, but I wasn't in any pain, so to speak, from giving up. It was all done through laparoscopic surgery. So it's a pretty simple process, actually. Now, I've learned through the journey that I have a friend is probably listening tonight, my friend Mike Herrick, and his son has a little condition. And I learned that through his wife. I was going through some after, maybe before labs, I can't remember, that I had to finish up at LabCorp, and I bumped into his wife, Laura, and they shared a story about their son. And you get to find out all these different stories once you share your story, that it's out there, and people desperately need kidneys, and it's really not that hard to give up a kidney because you only need one to live on.
Gotcha. I still say it's just a great act of courage, and just it takes a special person to even consider it, because I mean,
well, I appreciate that. But
yeah, I mean, you make it sound like it's no big deal, but to me, it is a big deal.
Well, and I appreciate that. Someone had to step up for my friend Kevin.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, I totally understand it, but like I say, it's one thing to talk about it and say it, but to actually do it, I mean, to me, dude, that's big. I mean, I don't know what to say other than, man, that's special, and it's something. It's like an act of kindness that you did not have to do.
No, but I did it free and willing. The only thing that I had, and the only change it's had in my life going forward, is I did drink a ton of water every day. I mean, a ton. I drink like 3 liters of water a day. Some people don't drink a liter a day of water, but they want me just to clean out the kidney and the one I have remaining, and it's a lot of water every day.
yeah, that's quite a bit of water.
It's quite a bit of water.
But no, Scott, I just want you to know, man, that I appreciate the fact that you shared that with everybody, because it needs to be heard, man. I mean, we're so quick to give attention to things that aren't positive. I just felt like that was a very positive thing, and I'm just glad that you was willing to share that, because
I appreciate that, and it wasn't that hard of a decision for me. It really truly wasn't. There was my girlfriend Lisa was very supportive. She was there. She was a caregiver. I'm very thankful for her that she took time out of her job to go to Phoenix and take care of me, because you can't get on a plane and fly right after the surgery. You got to stay there for a week.
Oh, okay, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
It was, like I said, it was the right thing to do. Somebody needed to do it.
So the
Um,
recovery process from actually doing it to being back to where, you felt normal, that was pretty quick? Is that what I'm hearing?
yeah, I mean, literally, I stayed in the Scottsdale area. I didn't bump into Scott. I didn't bump into Scott Frost, though, by the way. Sorry, I had to throw that. I had to throw that one in there.
That's all good.
But no, I was actually walking that day. They released me like the next day. I was only in the hospital overnight, and then they released me. The funny thing about it is the guy who did the surgery, the surgeon the doctor who did the surgery, is Paul Andrews. And if you're a fan of the Baltimore Ravens, you may know his son, Mark Andrews.
Oh, yeah, he's a tight end?
He's a tight end.
Yeah, okay.
His father is the one that did the surgery and took my kidney out.
Wow, small world again.
Yep.
Yeah, small world. Well,
Yep.
Scott, the one thing I can honestly say, man, is I'm glad that you're okay.
Thank you.
And, and I'm just glad that you were willing to do that. I also I gotta talk to you about something else.
Okay.
I'm just curious to know, how soon did you get back on a bicycle after the process?
They didn't want me riding a bike, and I'm not back at it full. They didn't want me riding a bike for 4 to 6 weeks, mostly because of the risk of hernia. They didn't want you, picking up anything 10 pounds or more for at least 4 weeks. And
Okay, that makes sense.
I started to ride the bike. I have it. They have these smart trainers there you can ride virtually. It's kind of like riding a bicycle on an Xbox.
Oh,
It's some wild stuff. If you don't know about it, it's actually pretty cool. You can basically ride anywhere in the world via a computer and a TV screen. So I did that a little bit, and then I'm starting to ride now. But it was really 4 to 6 weeks where I could get back on the bike in full, and then even then they wanted me to just gradually get into it.
Yeah, don't get into no heavy competition.
Yeah, I had the chance to race today. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, well, be smart now. You gotta at least give the doctors the benefit of the doubt.
Sure. Yeah.
So I respect.
I try to be
that.
a compliant. Yeah.
Yeah,
I try to be a compliant patient.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Now, Scott,
Well, let's talk. Hey, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just,
No.
You said let's
I
talk.
I want to know what happened to you. What else happened to you this week? There's something big, not just a birthday either. Something else happened to you this week.
I'm drawing a blank. Let me
come
see.
on.
No, I received a partial pardon, and the hearing was Monday, actually on my birthday,
mm-hmm.
and felt really good about it because, and this sounds kind of harsh coming from me, but Coach Osborne had really pushed for this, and I just went through the process. Actually filled out the application in 2020 during COVID, actually, and it took them 4 years to get me a hearing date, but got it, and had some success. And basically, the pardon really means to me that it'll open up some doors for me to help others. I really have a passion for wanting to help people that are in like treatment centers or in the prison system, that are potentially getting out in 6 months or less. And this hopefully will open some doors for me to do that. I just think that that's a population that's underserved. And I say that because I've been in that situation and I understand the importance. A lot of times when you get released from prison, the credibility is zero. No one really believes in you. No one thinks you're going to have a chance at being successful or a productive member of society. And I just want to be an example to give some hope to people that are incarcerated that are getting ready to be introduced back into society. So that was the meaning of that. But I had a lot of people that was very supportive. They have Coach Osborne there and Senator Reader Sanders there on my behalf, and Randy J. Goodwin. Michael Hunter, my son Tyler Bullock. It was a lot. I had a really nice support system there. Actually, Kim Kelly came down from Omaha, surprised me. I didn't expect to see her there, and then Beverly was there. So it was just a nice. It was a nice feeling to be surrounded by people that that support you, and it was something that that I guess now that I look back on it, it was a positive, and and that's a part of the story that I can add to speaking going forward. And I think we had a little interview that was done on Channel 7 out of Omaha, and I think we may even be adding that to the end of the documentary, because if you remember in the documentary, that was one of the questions that kind of left people guessing, because it said I was waiting to hear for a part. Now we got that, so we might be adding that as well.
Well, everybody deserves some level of forgiveness. Don't have to forget, but everybody needs to be forgiven. And you need to forgive yourself for a lot of those things, because they're in your rearview mirror now.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. A lot of people that has 14 plus years clean and sober and been free for that long, they kind of want to keep it a secret. You don't want people to know that part about your life, because you've gotten past it. But I think it's smart to use it to help others that are maybe just starting that journey of turning their life around. Well, Scott, we're going to take one more break and when we come back, we'll be talking about some other things, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Okay? Don't you guys go anywhere.
All
right back.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Happy Hour.
Husker softball in all preseason polls. In the 4 polls, 13th, 15th, 17th, and 18th. USA Softball is part of that. Softball America is one of them as well. D1 Softball. Top 20 as a team, and they have
at least 2 players in every top 50, top 100 poll, with Jordy Ball being anywhere from second. Honestly, I think third was her lowest ranking in some of those. And Billie Andrews, usually it's those two. There was one that had Kate Kaneda.
Weekdays from 1 to 2 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Delicious, decadent, scrumptious, delightful. What other words can I use to describe something so good I can't even tell it's healthy? How about heavenly? Chef Bob created heavenly waffles with an incredible fluffy recipe packed with protein and loaded with a plethora of angelic toppings to elevate the experience beyond the typical waffle and syrup. Don't just take our word for it. Join us for Heavenly Waffles Wednesday to experience heaven for yourself.
This Wednesday, February 7th from 8 to 11 a.m. at the 93.7 The Ticket Studios on the corner of 11th and O.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
And we're back. Hey, we got a little time here left, but I think I got a couple of more comments, and I'm going to have Ben read these to me. What you got over there, Ben?
Yeah, we got Lucy on Facebook chat said, Scott, I'm so proud of you. And then Theoa with another comment said, what a selfless act.
Scott, they showing love, man. They show.
Well,
that's what it's all about. Well, Scott, like I said, we only got a few minutes left,
okay.
But I want to ask you a quick question. Okay. How long have you lived in the Dallas area, and how do you like living there?
Oh gosh, I've lived here mostly since 1990, and I love Dallas. The only place that I would move to in a heartbeat would be the Roaring Fork Valley of Colorado, where my good friend Lucy, that just typed in on something, she lives in Glenwood Springs, where I went to high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, big shout out to Lucy. I appreciate the comment, and really appreciate Theola for chiming in and giving Scott some love, because, I mean, I think it's well deserved. I mean, that's a selfless act, man. I mean, that's couldn't have said it any better. So, but you say you like the Dallas area?
I do. It's there's no state income taxes here in Texas. The cost of living, well, used to be pretty good. It's gone up quite a bit, like everything else. But the traffic kind of stinks a little bit. But at least I live about a mile and a half from White Rock Lake, which is kind of like a central park would be in New York City, where I can get on my bike and train. Everybody goes and runs, and there's a little man-made lake in the middle of the park that everybody in the city uses at some point or the other.
Yeah, I remember that. That's a really nice place. I mean, it's very relaxed.
Yes.
Well, Scott, I have one final question I ask every guest. I want to know, whenever you do get some downtime, how do you get your happy on?
I get my happy on by getting on my bike. I can tell you that it's not always about intense riding. Sometimes it's just going out there and breathing fresh air and enjoying the mini adventure you do wherever you might ride. I mean, I know all the roads on the outskirts of the city, because there's a main group of guys that they ride out south, they ride out in the country, and it's very liberating. That's how I get my happy on. I get out.
That's all good, man.
Yeah.
You know, I tell people all the time, you know, there's no one certain way to get your happy on. I personally, it's pretty well documented that I like music as well. But
I do too.
And I like trying to dance. I cannot dance. I will be the first to admit. But you know what? It's something about thinking I can dance that makes me feel good. And the funniest part about it is I listen to music that's from the 80s, you know, some 90s.
Well,
that's about as far as I can go with the music.
It's funny you should mention that, because one of the first videos I saw that you do on get your Happy Friday on, you're playing "Just Be Good to Me" by the SOS Band, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't heard that in years. And I was like, okay, next thing you know, he's maybe going to play Freakazoid or No Parking on the Dance Floor by what's the name of Midnight Star. I'm like, all right, if he starts playing that, we may have a thing going on.
Well, hey, Scott, like I say, I appreciate you for being on the show, man.
Welcome.
And
happy to help you.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. And you be sure and give those guys down in Dallas a heads up for me, like I asked. And
all right,
yep. Go ahead.
Okay, you got Eric's number, so give him a call.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely do that. But look, I'm gonna wrap this show up the way I always do.
We have some comments if you want to read those.
You got
before.
Some comments?
Yeah,
what you got?
Mike says he's watching from Dallas, and then Sarah said, "Scott, you definitely deserve the love. Awesome thing you did."
What? Man, look at the love, Scott. They showing love, man.
Well, I appreciate that.
But it's well deserved, though, Scott.
I guess,
mean,
yeah.
It really is, man, because I know, you know, you're being real modest and humble about it, and I respect that as well. But man, I can't emphasize how big that is, what you've done for that young man. So,
well, thank you. I appreciate that, Ricky.
Yeah. So you just keep doing big things, and just know, if nobody else told you, I'm extremely proud of you, because
I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna keep doing what I do, man. This is being positive and being happy and uplifting people. That's what it's all about. But Scott, I gotta wrap this up the way I always do. Every day you blessed to see, it's just another day in paradise. And you gotta get your happy on. Thank y'all for listening. We'll see you next Sunday. I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, but we'll be back.
All right. See you, bud.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com. where they're committed to you every step of the way.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before